Hello everyone. So today what we are going to do is we are going to create a Power BI report from the data that we will have in SharePoint list, and then we will have that Power BI report as a web part in a SharePoint, our home page. We can display all that data. So I've created this small list where we will have more entries, but before that I wanted to go to Power BI. So how you can go to the Power BI, you can click on this, then integrate Power BI, visualize the list, right? This will try to take you. So as you can see, when we go to Power BI, right, app.powerbi.com, and we click on create, so it says add data to get started. Either you can paste the manually enter or publish from a already data set that you have, right? So we are not getting the SharePoint list option. If we click on this, you get Excel, CSV, right? And the only option is to download the desktop app. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to get the desktop app, that is the Power BI desktop, so that we get the option to enter the data through the SharePoint list. Okay, so this is the Power BI desktop application. When it opens up, I've downloaded this from the download the desktop app, since the SharePoint option was not coming in here. Okay, now get data from another source, and online services, SharePoint online list, connect. Site URL I have already copied, so I've pasted it here. Right, implementation, advanced view mode. Okay, connect. Okay, so we have successfully connected to our site. The list that has the data is Power BI reports. Okay, so we have our Power BI report, area, attachment, authorize, ID, grid, all that is not needed, modified or data. So this is our list. Let's create some more entries so that we can create a proper report dashboard type. Let's have more entry, area, America, department, operations, status, pass, 60,000, save. Okay, area. So let me do some entries. Okay, so I have made some entries, as we can see here, different revenue, different status. Now let's go to our Power BI, refresh, done. Area, Okay, let's do one more thing. Let's setting. Ugh. View items. So we will group it. Let's group it by department first and then group it by where is status. Okay, so we can see there are 2 entries in department, 2 entries in IT, HR, operations as 3. So under HR there are 1 item is on hold, 1 item is pass. Under IT 2 items are under process, and in operation 1 item is on hold and 2 items have been passed. Okay, so that this is the entries that we have made department wise and status wise. So area, let's select status. We made the connection and our list is shown here. The fields, we can see the fields here. The fields from the list, right, are department, area, revenue, status. So the number of fields will be able to work with the number of fields, the choice fields, right? So let's build one. Let's select area and let's have a clustered column chart. So if you see here, you can't actually see anything, right? So how I'm going to do is I'm going to have 4 sections in this. 4 different ways I will show how you can have different, right? It's all hidden trial, or what you say, like different options you have, right? I'll show whatever possible. Okay, so as we can see there is nothing in here, area. Now what we'll do here is we will take status. Okay, again you can see their status has come here and we have selected the bar chart, but there's no bars that are coming up. That is because in this visualization section you can see that x-axis and y-axis, that y-axis column doesn't have anything, right? Area, x-axis has area but y-axis does not have anything. So you pull, drop and drop, drag and drop, and here you see. So right, this is how the information is. If I'll just make it full scale so that it's visible. Okay, so if you see what it is, the count of status by area and status. So operations, right, operations in the pass has 2 entries. This is 2 operations, right? In the pass status has 2 entries, where in an operations on the on hold status has 1 entry. Okay, this is the color for on hold. HR has pass 1 and on hold 1. IT has under process 2. So in a graphical representation we have the entries. Okay, good. So this is the first one. Let's copy, paste, drag towards the right. As I said, I am going to have 4 of it, so 2 more. Copy, paste, and there you go, last. Okay, done. Okay, so what we are going to do this one, let's have this as a double chart. Okay, so the same information, that area, operations, HR and IT. So if I go here, right, I can see, right, and this is also one of the features, if you click on any one, all are highlighted for that particular operation, right. Okay, let's move out of it. Here, IT. So under process, the count is 2, which is 28.57% of the total. Similarly, HR has 1 pass, which is 14.29%, and 1 on hold, right. Operations has 2 pass, which is 28.57%, and 1 on hold. So the same information which we had here, we have it in a double chart format, percentage also showing out of the total how much percentage in that section. Okay, now let's have another one. This is, yeah, better. Okay, so the third one, we can have revenue in the x-axis and the count of status. So it shows that $10,000 we have 2 entries, 20,000 2 entries, 30,000 1 entry, 50,000 1 entry, and 60,000 1 entry, right. So by revenue we can have this. Now the last one, we can have like this format. So this is your line and stack column, but what we'll do here is we will shift this status and so title is the internal name for the column that is named as department. So we can have we can see here that it says on hold, pass, and under process is in yellow, on hold blue, and pass dark blue. So America has 1 pass, Asia has 1 on hold, Brazil is under process, China is on hold, Europe under process, India's 1 is pass, and Spain 1 is pass. Okay, so like this we have placed different entries in here. We can have this in double chart, but let's keep it like this. Okay, so this is the data visualization of the SharePoint list that is there. If I go in here, let's create another one. I will create, let's create area India, one more, and under process 30,000, save, refresh, and our entry got refreshed. So we can see now here HR has 1 under process, 1 pass, and 1 on hold department wise. Operation has 2 pass and 1 on hold. IT has 2 under process, right. This is in percentage terms of the total. So IT has total to 25% of the total, right? Then revenue wise, we can see I've added 30,000, so now it has two entries in the 30,000. 20,000 also has two, 10,000 has two, whereas 50 and 60,000 has one entries. This one changes. So now India has one entry as pass and one entry is under process, right? America has one entry, one else has one entry. The America's one entry is pass, Asia's one entry is on hold, Brazil entry is under process, right? So this gives information. So this is giving you three informations. One is the area, then how many in that, and which category status, that is under process or under which category. Like in India, one is under pass and one is under process, right? So this is how we can use Power BI desktop SharePoint list entry as a data set. The changes that you make here will be reflected here. You can use different options in here, right? This is the filter on visualization, so you can, if you want to see on hold, it will reflect on hold, right? If we want to advanced filtering option is also there. So this is based on status, based on title, based on count of area. So all that filter can be done. If you click on any one, like the IT operation, so it will show you among all the four the different IT operations. So IT is 2, which is 25%. The IT 1 is under Brazil and 1 is under Europe, and both the entries are in the 10,000 range, right? Similarly, if we want to see operations, we can see in operations pass has 2 entries. So this is the operation 2 entries. One is 20,000 entry and one is 60,000 entry. One is for America region and the other is for Spain region. Then in operations again, the on hold is 12.5%, 20,000 entry, and that is from China. Similarly for HR as well, if you click on it, it will reflect, right, how many entries. One entry in under process, which is 12.5%. 30,000 was the revenue for that under process one, and that is for India region, right? So from the visualization itself, we can make our entry or the analysis. The next would be for me to publish this so that I can use it on the SharePoint Webpart. So we want to save, yes, let's save this. Okay, so I am publishing this dashboard. Okay, now it's published. Let's open this into the Power BI. My workspace is where I've published this, and now we can see this. So now we can see our dashboard. Okay, so once it is published, all we have to do is go to our site, home page or any other page you can create for this purpose. I'm going to create it on home page itself, and we will select Power BI. Here it is. Add a report, a link to the report. So embed report published to web. We click on it. Okay, so for me to embed this into the SharePoint Online web part, we need the URL, alright, which we need to put in here. But previously I was not getting the option of this SharePoint Online. So why was I not getting this option previously is you need to have the pro license or premium license required to embed in SharePoint Online. The free license users can use it, can view and see, but they won't be able to embed it, right? So this is some pre-requirement. I'll put this into the description. Embed a report web part in SharePoint Online, right? So now I have this option. Let's take it, Control C. And there we have it, right? Our dashboard is reflecting in here. Okay, we have the option to show filter pane, which I'm going to enable. It will take some space here, but that will give the ability to the end user, even the free Power BI users who have permission to view this, right? They'll be able to use filters. So I haven't put any filters in here. Let me put the filter. For filter, let's take area. Let's give the option of revenue. Status filter on all pages. Okay, that should do it. Let's save it. Report is saved. And we have our filter in here, right? We can off that as well, so that filter does not reflect, but as I said, we will have our filter option so that the end users, they can do this as well, but use this option. So how this will be used, so if I only want to see for HR, it will filter on all four for HR, right? And we have the option of revenue. If I want to do status wise, I can do a filter on status wise and see how many are on hold, right? So I am able to see that HR has on hold one item, operations has on hold one item, right? And those revenues are from 20,000 and 50,000, and the regions are Asia and China, right? So this is how the filters will be used. Let's publish this, and this is how it will reflect on our home page, on our landing page when we come on this site, right? Okay, so as you can see, if you click on workspace, you will be able to see your workspace. In here, what we have is this is the report that we have created, and this is the data set that has been available from SharePoint Online. So in here you see this scheduled refresh. So this is what we are going to use the option. You can click on there, as well as you can go on settings, and under this you will be able to see scheduled refresh. Okay, so my data set currently is giving issue, so let's sign in. Done. So once the connection has been made, as you can see, scheduled refresh, so I will click that on, because if anyone is making changes to the SharePoint list itself, right, our Power BI report, if you have added one more entry in here, that by default will not be reflected into the dashboard. You will make that entry, and you will see that that is not being reflected here. Why that is happening is because the data set which is associated with the report is the one which is coming into the web part of the Power BI, but the data set behind that report is in Power BI itself, and it has been not refreshed. So what you can do is you can schedule the refresh for the data set. You can see in this article data refresh in Power BI, right? So in here, Power BI limits dataset on a shared capacity to 8 daily dataset refreshes. The 8-time value are stored in the backend database and are based on local time that are selected on dataset settings. The scheduler checks. So you can do a scheduled refresh, right, 8 times in a day. If the dataset resides on a premium capacity, you can schedule a 48 refreshes per day in the data settings. But so let me do this. So refresh weekly or daily, timestamp my timestamp, right, time I'll take 12 a.m. Send refresh failure notification to dataset owner. So 8 times would mean that I can schedule refresh every 3 hours. And as you can see, I do not have any more add time option in there. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, every 3 hours my dataset will be refreshed automatically. Apply. And this is how we have completed this Power BI report that we have generated, and that report has been incorporated into a SharePoint online web part, right? So you can create the report and have different formats, whichever format suits you, whichever format you like. Place filter in there for end users to use, right? This is using from the same list from SharePoint itself. So that is all from my end. Have a good day. Thank you.